Okay, I got a new mic again. Well, not again. The other one was just my headphones. This is an actual mic. I never actually had one. So, we're hoping. We're praying. Anyways, we're continuing. Hopefully. I practiced it on the previous Danganronpa game where I had it up when I started to play it, and it recorded what I sounded like. But then I realized I got so distracted because I loaded up the very first save file I have, which it wasn't like this. I saved each chapter individually. And I was like, oh, the door doesn't fit in my room. Oh, I should clean up. Because there was like a roller on the floor, and I'm like, this was before everything. It was before all. I was like, oh no. Anyways, so hopefully we're good. I wouldn't know how to check. Well, I could mute and check. Let me bring it up. And, oh, but Loverish is playing. What is this? Ocarina of Time? It doesn't look like it from the screen cap. Could be. 100% could be. Anyways. Oh. I realize I should talk if I want to know if I'm working or not. So, oops. Okay, well, oh, where's my mouse? Oh, it's over here. I'm a genius. Okay, sure. Why can't I also turned off the sound, because I'm a genius. I'm amazing, always. Loverish was playing for a while. I saw her thing and I'm like, oh, it's been a few hours. Well, she's just a better streamer than me. Also, I think I'm gonna turn down the game volume. I think it's a little too loud. Hopefully that's fine. A way to stab yourself in the right hand using only your right hand. I forgot where we were, and yeah, okay. This isn't my right hand, this is my left, but anyways. Okay. Well, nope. Because I was like, well, if you hold the knife somewhere, and you go like, but it didn't work. I thought this was gonna, when I first read this sentence, I forgot where we were in the thing. I was gonna be like, oh, well, he clearly dropped the spear on himself from up above. But that's not what we're talking about. It's okay. I was like, it's okay. Oh, cool, thanks. It's okay. It's definitely an answer for this. There's definitely an answer for this. Dear God, man. We just started this. I think the brown rope is could be an answer.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Okay, so
If he
it's not.
threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a
Yeah,
throwing knife expert?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife,
The only thing
he
left
could
is
have
the
used his
plushie.
bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
I don't think it could. I don't think so. I think our best option is the plushie, which is the only thing we can actively shoot out of the options. If Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself in the palm, then how did he do it?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
I don't think.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Yeah, yeah,
I agree with that.
I wouldn't have got there. But maybe I wasn't paying attention enough
The life-size Monokuma plushie.
last
You
time.
must have used that to prop the knife.
Just because I really wasn't paying attention. To be fair, I'm barely paying attention right now. My brain is just zooming around. But what happened is, all I got distracted by was when I would give myself shots. When I started to give myself shots, my mom was like, well, do what my nurse did back when I got my appendix ruptured and taken out, where she would hold it and she'd full on throw it like a dart. And I think I mentioned this before, and all I could think of is that right now. Anyways, don't do that. That's super traumatic for the area of your body you're getting shot. Like, with needles are so sharp that you can literally just press it and it will go in. Yeah, it will take longer, but it's better for the area, especially for the big needle. Like, just hold the skin and just, that's it. And it's so sharp, it'll just right in. And if you're relaxed, no pain. Anyways,
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
wait, he cut a hole in it to prop it up like that? I guess. I wonder if you could have held it in your armpit. Like, if you just held it down in the hand you wanted to stab. But it would have been weird because it was backwards. Yeah, never mind. I hope you guys can hear
He
them.
inserted the knife handle
whatever.
into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
But then how did it get over there? Did he then throw it? Because at this point, he is bleeding from his thighs. He's bleeding from his left arm. And it's splattered. And he has the hand with a knife in it. And let's say the plush was right next to him. Because he's laying down. He can only really move part of his torso. He can't really move. Where did he do this? Like, was it supposed to be, like, where was the Monokuma plush? Because in theory, depending on if his thighs can touch each other, if he can touch his thighs with the knife in his hand, could he not just propped it in between his legs and, like, held it? It would have been weird, but, like, could he have not have done that? I don't know. But again, maybe I should pay attention.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
But then why was it thrown? Who threw it?
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
Okay, so he did throw it, and he wanted it to catch on fire, but it didn't. Okay, makes sense, but also, how did he plush stab his hand? I also really thought he was fine. Oh boy, I have anxiety. Not really. It was just like I don't want it to mess up, especially when it's such a speaking role for everyone else. You know? For everyone else. If I could enunciate things a little bit more. Anyways.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I mean, at least his plan didn't go off without a hitch, but that was pretty unlucky of him, because if we didn't find out how it was propped up in a case like this, we couldn't move on. That's not how the game works. So it's like, ooh, would have sucked.
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
No, see, it's wrong. Because we're way too early in the trial for that to be correct. However, it was seen that way with his hands clutched, blood splatter not on the thing, blood up on the rafter. It's gonna probably be something like that, but it's more to it for sure.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito.
Yes. Yes.
If that's true, how is that possible?
Oh yeah, it's the rafter. Rafter. It's the ceiling, bro.
He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
He already had it.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
More importantly, there's going to be more to it. Because it doesn't say how he died, and it obviously, the spear is not how he died. Because it would have been completely weird if the Monokuma file wouldn't, if it was the real reason he died, it would have been written, but it's not.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Yeah. When I was young, someone's like, hey, let's not use that word. I was like, not super young, but I didn't think about it. And they're like, hey, let's not. And I was like, and now every time I hear it, I'm like, oh boy. Also, I said, because I was reading, it takes me forever to read something. And I mentioned, like, read a book. And I mentioned to my sibling, I mentioned that I was reading Frankenstein because I always wanted to read the original. So anyways, I was reading it and I said it's not really hard and long, but you know, for some reason I just can't get through it or I can't finish it. And it was just the way I said it. My sibling was just like, and this was a few years ago, so I definitely knew better. But somehow I really messed up saying that because I was putting on my shoes. My sibling's like, I shouldn't laugh. And I'm like, oh boy, thanks.
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
didn't
shut
catch
up.
all that.
See, mine was an accidental funny haha. This is perverted.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Bro, more and more people are getting killed off the lower on my list you are, my dude. But also, It's not really actually. I mean, I guess for a stab wound on your chest, yes. Yes, it is. It's gonna be like, it's not really that thick, and it's not all the way through him, so it's not really that long. This is extremely just for this line.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand, while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
It's really fun, the dots in Danganronpa. I can't remember where it stood out, but there was a moment where a dot really says a lot when you go back. So I wonder if that means Chaki knows exactly how you died. Because she was the one that pointed out the blood splatter on the hands. So I think she might know and she doesn't want to say anything, which is really interesting for me.
I also agree with that.
Also, I haven't played for a week, so I'm gotta remember a lot of things here.
To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty. I could never believe that.
Did we not settle it was himself? Did we not say it was himself that did all this besides the spear? The only thing, if I found Nagito and he completely hurt himself and I see this spear and even if I go up and I just completely just stab him, at that point, is it any more problems than this isn't what with such cruelty, it isn't much crueler than any of the other murders.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Is it against the rules for him to interfere? I guess. I don't remember that.
Monomi sassing me!
Did I mention? Yeah, so I was playing open the first one, and yeah, it was just, I don't know, I'm still thinking about it, because I was like, oh, we've gone so far from the beginning, and now I'm like, oh, I have to reevaluate everything. I wonder if they will describe, sure, I wonder if they will explain Monomi's powers while she was Asami, because she did have magic powers. She did actually change a chicken into a cow. Yeah.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course, that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Right. He keeps protecting her. But I wonder if it is a normal amount or if it's extra. Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia or me. I wonder if that means it was her in some way. I'm seriously confused by her. I really am.
As Kazuichi said,
Really am.
it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Okay, I get it. I messed up.
Do you really think so?
No.
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I think she did a little ...
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible. I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
It would be interesting if she was just lying, just full on, like, yeah, I think he could have done it, and just full on, just like lying, but I don't think she is, because just, you trust her, the player trusts her, I believe, from what I've seen, people trust her, I've seen her around, so just like, imagine if the person you trusted for so long, and you're like, yeah, of course, if she says it's not impossible for him to stab himself, but in reality, she did it, that would have been really fun. I can't remember if we ever had that, where we're kind of fed one way, but we're supposed to see through it. I don't remember.
What kind of way?
But that'd be interesting. It'd be really interesting to just like, yeah, it wouldn't be impossible.
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
And then it's like, yeah, you know, I can't think about it, but to get me to say the answer instead of her would be really interesting. To be like, fully like, oh yeah, we're trying to discover it, but instead she's trying to have someone else discover the way that either she discovered it or even planted it. To be like, see, he did it.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We've made it this. She's right. We made it. She's right. We made it through several ordeals up until now by doing that. Then, even now.
Alright, let's do this.
I guess even now we have each other's backs. I'm assuming. Sure. Okay, argument. It's gonna be the blood.
How
For
did
sure.
Nagito stab himself with a spear?
He held it.
Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito,
I'm gonna keep
his
stabbing.
right hand
Stabbing.
was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
No.
But his left hand
Oh
was
yeah.
also tied up.
Yep.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, it doesn't. Blood stains.
If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth?
You
Or
know,
maybe he
that's
used
fair.
his front tail.
Okay, we need to stop
I
that.
know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
Oh, shut up. Okay, we need to dial it back about like 4. If Nagito committed suicide, then he must have. Oh yeah, he couldn't use his teeth because his mouth was covered by duct tape. So, not that. If Nagito committed suicide, then he must have used that spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs are tied up, there's no doubt that he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is...
How did Nagito stab himself with his... Let's work together. When the spear stuck, his right hand was covered by...
He was only able to move his...
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
Maybe don't use the word cut when he sliced and diced himself so many times. Sliced and diced himself so many times.
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain. But it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Was this not supposed to be as obvious as it was, or was this just still, we're just one of those things that we just have to figure out? He was gripping. What was Nagito's left hand doing while the blood splattered?
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand.
I can't even stab my own leg. Well, I have been, but at a doctor's office to give myself testosterone, to give myself medicine. And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stab my leg a lot. Just like, yeah, okay. And then sliced his arm and then cut his hand again and then threw the Monokuma and then stayed alive until something. And then dropped the spear on himself. I'm just saying. I have no idea how that would feel.
That's why there's such a strange looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Okay, this this chapter's trial needs to dial it back about like 4 notches. Okay, like we're at a 6. Let's bring it back down to a 2 in sexualness. It's not even good jokes. Are these good jokes? Is this what jokes are? Was it like, is this like in the Umbrella Academy when one of the characters gets kidnapped by someone else and he's getting tortured and he says that he's almost there? That was borderline too much, and it was in a very ridiculous show, in a very ridiculous situation, and it showed a lot of characterization. This isn't characterization for them, nor they like Nagito. It's just kind of just there. I guess it's a little bit characterization, but it doesn't feel necessary. It feels like they just wanted her to say something, you know?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Like, it would be very interesting if he was winking it to the idea or the situation. That would be a very interesting characterization, but this isn't a characterization for him nor for her. It just really just feels like they just want her to be speaking. With this and the previous section of this, I think they might just not have her, might not have anything for her to say. It seems.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
But like, pretty mild. It looks like he really, like, that doesn't even look like a clean cut. That looks like a very brutal hacking. Is his white shirt long sleeved? I don't know why I always pictured it as like a short sleeve shirt. Maybe that's not his arm that's hacked. Maybe that's his sleeve. His shoes are cool though, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah, I guess they said it wasn't very deep. Ow.
He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
I think I would have cut somewhere here because the soft areas are so delicate, and if his arm's out that way, it's like on his soft inner arm. That's so, like, sensitive. Anyways. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a different characterization. Because there's a lot of characterization that can be done in what they deem sexual and stuff. But for Akane, this isn't even anything. I don't know. This instantly it was like, oh god. Maybe because I was watching something else that was kind of like this, like kind of brought me to Danganronpa territory, but it was done differently, and I'm like, it was done with not nuisance nuance, but with just better done. I think it was done in a slightly alternative way, where it was done with, was it good? But like, it was funny. With Akane here, again, I just don't find it funny. Anyways, yeah, but also with the I will get there. Oh yeah, with the Umbrella Academy thing, it was really well done in the sense that you were getting to learn this character, that even in literally being tortured, he didn't let that get to him, I guess is the best and most polite way of saying it. But like, even so it did, it was just like, even just random other things. But like, the next line the other person said was, "What's wrong with him? Like, what?" And it was just like, yeah, that's true. It's just, what's wrong with him? Why can he handle being tortured? Why? And it was showing that, it showed his backstory very well in one half funny of a joke. Wasn't the best joke that was in the show, in my opinion. But it was like, there's a reason, in my opinion. I don't know. That's right. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think?
I don't remember what the problem is. I don't remember. See, a lot of dots. It's throwing me for a loop. Why?
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
Nope. She's hiding something. What was the question? Even if he held the spear in his tied up left hand, it's impossible for him to stab himself. Okay, so she doesn't want to mention the rafter? What is it? What did they call it?
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Oh, she was just figuring it out. Never mind.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
It took you that long to figure it out? You figured that out at the crime scene. The section of the spear he was holding onto was the cord.
I see! That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding onto the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
But she pointed that out during the thing. she pointed that out during the investigation. I'm so good at words.
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
But God, if his blood splurted, if his blood splurted off from here to here, that's a very long amount of space for blood to get from your arm to your hand. Like, ow. Like, for a slice? Like, what did he slice? Ow. I don't know enough about bleeding to know. But I feel like he might have bled out, man. But then the spear wouldn't have so much blood around it, I guess.
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
Close. Whoa, you meant like just in the air. No. He's up and over, honey. Up and over. But, ow, I don't know enough about bleeding to know if that's a thing that happens. Like, how much blood when you're cut like that. Because usually if you're cut with a clean motion, does it not bleed around where you cut? Like, oh. Yeah. Stop squeaking.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord, Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear in his left hand with his left hand. But from there, what would he, or how would he, stab himself in the stomach with that spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
No. You're getting really sus in my mind again.
At a time like this.
Oh, okay. Because I thought Chiaki, she started getting worrying for me. Because she wasn't saying the answers that I assumed she knew. But maybe she just legitimately didn't know despite pointing out the blood on the ceiling. Or whatever, the support beam. The hand and the blood splatter. All at the crime scene. She didn't explicitly say any of them. So I started to get worried. Because that would be interesting. However, tea time, bro? Really? We're gonna do that? Right now?
How about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
I don't think this is the first time. I think it was in the first one with Celeste's case, which is the third case. They were like, think of it as two different things, but that made it harder. I think if I didn't think it was a bit looped up and over, I don't think having the spear, like, where was the spear, would have helped me as, like, the first thing to think of. I could be wrong. Nagito was facing up, and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So, if it's just before that, that's it. Could it be the state of the spear, and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment? If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Logic dive. Okay. Oh shoot. I don't know why they come out of nowhere. Am I not supposed to go so fast? I kind of thought that would be the point. It's like, haha, you go fast. Okay, what's the question? Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above Nagito. Oh, what the heck? Are these new? They seem new. Oh, never mind. I thought it would kept going. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? The ceiling. Girder? Sure. It's not girder. I don't know. You think I know how to read? I don't know where these guys stop. And go back. Oh, see, those are short. Okay. I don't know if you need to jump on those or not, but I do. Just to be safe. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? Girder? Support beam. The spear cord. Because it's not the rope. Oh, we're done.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
That's a really sweet way of being like, no. But like, it was really cute. It was like, that'd be awesome.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that
It is
as a
girder.
support,
So good, it is girder.
he hoisted the spear directly above him.
Wasted.
And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
Why was his hand so far up? I assumed he had his hand down. Or else it would be too... He looked like his arm was pulled taut. Like, pulled tight. So, why is it so high up? I think for the visual aid, but... I wouldn't have done it because his hand has the knife on it. I wouldn't have done it like that. Like, art-wise.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
Girders is a stupid word, I love it. But anyways, red streak, it's hot pink. Which I wonder why.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling.
I wonder why, because it's not for censor reasons, it's just because.
So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
Yes, however, we didn't even have intermission yet. There's more.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Yes. Yes to that one. No to suicide. I don't know. The only thing is the poison, but I don't remember what it said about it. But I think he was poisoned. Now did he poison himself? Because it was his poison. Or did someone go into his room and poison him with it? Or did he set it up? again, set it up so he gets poisoned. I don't know. Clearly this was a thing, though. But anyways, it's not suicide. Well, it's... I'm gonna hold off on that part, but it's not this. We're not even at the intermission yet. There's more.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping a spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Okay. So this makes, well, to our knowledge, this makes this canon where he cut his arm first. Why would you cut your arm first if you're going to be holding something? That should be the last thing. Two, that blood splatter though. Ugh. Ugh. So like one time when I was giving myself a shot, I gave it in my thigh. Right there, it's pretty strong muscles, like I have a pretty long needle. And one time I gave it to myself, but because my muscle was so tight and everything, it wasn't bad that I gave it to blah blah, like some people say make sure you withdraw to make sure you're not in a vein or whatever. But anyways, that's all pure muscle pretty much, like you're pretty good. I don't even know if anyone ever, how much, like I got 24 testosterone shots. I never hit one. I never had a problem besides this one, but it was because my leg was so tight and they're like, you can't do that, and it built up pressure, and even then it was just a little and that's it, but it was pressurized and it was horrible and I hated it, hence I go to the doctor for it for quite a while now, and I started giving it to myself again because again, taught wrong, blah blah nonsense, do it safely. But what happened is, oh my god, even that was just a little bit, that is clearly a stab and like and then pressure, I don't know, oh that's awful, that looks awful, that's horrible, I hate it, please go away.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
But also, growing up, my parents would like to watch murder mysteries, or it's murder mysteries like CSI and Criminal Minds, and I don't remember any of the other names. Cold Case. I liked Cold Case though, with the flashbacks and the different characters and everything. That was always fun. It was also, I think, like the most woke of the most progressive TV show, dealing with LGBT issues as early as episode 3 of the whole thing. That's 2003, baby. Like, oh my god, that was so much earlier. That was the very first show that I saw with praise and acceptance to not only the gay community, there's later on lesbian community, I believe, but mainly for me was the gay community, and then the trans community. And give it, I didn't watch every episode, but that was the first time I saw love and support for the trans community, and actually the first time I ever saw a trans guy. Yeah. Anyways, point was, so I was watching, I couldn't remember the point. I was watching a TV show when I was little, and one guy got cut, and they're like, dude, I got like 30 seconds, I'm gonna bleed out, I'm gonna die. And since all of those times with these people bleeding out, I'm like, got terrified of bleeding out. And thinking about it now probably isn't the worst way to go. Now, stabbing yourself multiple times in the thighs, which, by the way, you go a little bit too center, you go a little too deep, you're hitting some pretty nasty things, pretty gnarly. But anyways, thighs terrify me. Getting cut in the thigh terrifies me. The only time there was a death in the thigh that wasn't as bad as it could have been for me was when I was reading The Witcher. And spoilers, it's the very first episode of the TV show, but happens a little bit later in the first book, where Renfrey, I think, Renfrey and the Witcher, they had their duel, and in that duel, he kills her. But in the book, she didn't just die by getting stabbed. She died because Geralt, there it is, that was his name, put his giant blade in between her legs and cut in her thigh, and she bled out. Now give it. That's fair. That's fine. Interesting. Bad part was, it was next to her crotch, and that was the whole thing. You ruined her whole death by, at the last possible second, pulling her down from a character and making her about her crotch. I don't know how to say it politely. That was her whole thing, was belittled. Her whole story was changed to her last sentence, her last breath happened, and you take it down and mention her crotch as the last sentence. If Geralt died in that instead, and it was reversed, would they have mentioned it? Would they have mentioned his dick? No. Why are you mentioning her thigh like that? And again, bleeding out terrifies me. Thighs terrify me. And you ruined it. I mean, Renfrey wasn't great. I'm not going to say she wasn't good. She wasn't a great character. And there were problems in her characterization, especially with abuse. And how it wasn't well executed, in my opinion. But mainly in the context of the whole book. But oh boy, it bothered me so much. Anyways, thighs and stabbing and bleeding out terrify me. Ooh.
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake.
Why? Why did he want us to make a mistake? Okay, wait. I'm trying to think. I guess for everyone to die, if we choose anyone besides the person who did it, we all die. And if he did do it, and the rest of it is just about why. Which I think there's more to it. But if we get wrong who did it, and we don't vote for him, then we all die. Is that what he wants? Does he want us all dead? Or did he set it up for someone to kill him somehow? And they want them to be the only one that survive? Why?
By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
It's too soon.
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, I was starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capability Yep. Of malice. For malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's dead. That's the form of malice he took. I had forgotten all about it until now. Okay, so there's more to it, for sure. 100%. It's way too soon. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right?
True, and you are right. And it's weird that you're right. But you're right.
Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense.
What did she say when we were investigating? That was like, oh, something doesn't quite make sense. I can feel it. But I don't remember what she said. Because obviously that's going to be correct. But I don't remember. Was it about the dominoed Monokumas? Like, are we past that?
It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume Nagito committed suicide, but I do feel why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
It would be weird that we spend half the trial just discovering the traitor for no reason. Like, that'd be weird.
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh?
I have no reason to suspect Sonia as much as I do, but yet here I am.
That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer?
Nah, man. Way not close enough. We're not even halfway through this.
Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Would it be very interesting, from Monokuma's perspective, for us to actually all die? Besides, like, let's say, in this case, if we voted for not Nagito, or no, sorry, if we voted for Nagito, so there is an official killer out there. I just realized Asami isn't hung up. She's on the floor. I didn't realize it. Anyways, what was it? When did she stop being all beaten? Because we saw her, correct? Anyways, if would it be interesting for one person to actually walk away? Would it be interesting? Like, would Monokuma purposely be like, okay, you know, if there's nothing more, like if we wanted to have another thing going. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us a hint. Because wouldn't it be very boring for everyone else just to die? And it's like, okay, I guess we're done. Okay. Like, wouldn't it?
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
Also, I'm not done with all my bullets, man. Like, we did this one. Did that one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Yeah. Yes? Yes? I don't remember. Maybe, I don't remember. No. Okay, so maybe we are figuring out who the traitor is. Because we didn't do these two, this one, this, or this. So I feel like these last ones are going to be really important. Those are the ones we have left. So I guess maybe it is just figuring out who the traitor is. But
That's true, but
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But
I mean, he set himself up. I don't care if, because the only other thing we have is poison. I don't care if it was time or poison. If he's the one that set himself up, would that mean he wouldn't be deemed the killer? I'm not going to speak on it until after we're done. We're going to continue.
I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
What? Something related to Nagito's death. And it's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? Here, I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that even he couldn't have messed with. We could mess with this, he could mess with this, and this, and this, and this. I mean, he couldn't mess with I almost clicked turn in. He knew that there were fake bombs, however, he apparently never revealed this fact to anyone. But he knew they were fake. He knew they were fake. Okay, Monokuma's account. Sonia secretly used one of the bombs from the military base at the ancient ruins and found out that the bombs were fake. At this time, Monami was apparently peeking at the whole thing, which is going to be important. I thought she was just there as a cute little thing. An MP3 player that comes with a speaker, the music that was with you. Okay. Wheel lighter. I mean, these are all done after, but like, I don't know. He did that. He couldn't affect, I mean, the victim was Nagito Kamaide. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Therefore, the laceration on his left arm. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. he can affect all of these. So this one?
Crap!
No. No, that's not it. Chucky's worried about something else. Something related to Nagito. Okay, it has to be related to his death. But he could affect these. And there's nothing comparing the. It says blah, 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 blah. It says related to his death. These don't relate to his death. These four. This doesn't relate, and also he could have messed with it. Monokuma I just used, and Sonia's isn't about his death. It's about the bombs, which he knew were fake. I can't remember how he knew they were fake, but he knew they were faked. What is this? The life-size Monokuma plushie was found at the floor near the fire's origin point. It has a huge bloody hole in the stomach, as if it was stabbed. Something he couldn't have done. What? I'm gonna freaking run out of time. I'm gonna click Sonia's, and then I'm gonna work my way down. No, that's not. No, she's worried about something else. Something related to his death. A piece of evidence that he can related to his death. See, he did all that. He did that. See the fire afterwards. But there is nothing that's like the fire after. So let's see. No.
Crap!
Something related to his death that he couldn't mess with. What couldn't he mess with? He messed with all of it. The only thing he couldn't mess with is he threw the doll. Something he couldn't mess with. But he did mess with dropping it. Is it actually one of these things? Because none of these are related to his death. Something that even he couldn't mess with. What couldn't he mess with? I thought something that was cause and effect after he died. But he messed with all these. He couldn't mess with more of the bombs. See, I thought that was going to indicate the fire. He couldn't control fire. That's the only thing he couldn't control. Everything else he planned. He planned it all. There's no details. Due to the fact that didn't know who the traitor is, maybe?
Crap!
No. Okay, it's not the traitor. Something related to his death. Evidence. His thighs were stabbed, covered in a lot of, tied. His arm is that it? Because it's clean. I think it's the fire. The fire's the only thing he couldn't control.
Crap!
No. Okay. Gonna freaking die. Something that even he couldn't mess with. Military base. Left hand. Yeah. However, the blood was splattered on his face under it. Cord. Yeah. I already did this one, I think. Didn't work. He must have been playing that from when they got there. Yeah, must have been. So then you secretly used one of the, yeah, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. Maybe. Did I use this one already? Nagito's cottage under his bed. That would be weird. Okay. You can affect everything. I don't know what he couldn't affect. I honestly do not know.
Crap!
No, okay. Can they give me any more hints, or do we do this?
Crap!
No. Okay. I mean, we did do it, but probably. We did the burn rope. What's something that we did that we did Monokuma's?
Crap!
Yeah, okay. We did. I'm gonna look it up. Man. I'm gonna look it up. I'm too dumb. What's the question? Something related to Nagito's death. One sec. Hold. Oh, I can't pause. Okay. Nagito's death. I don't know how to get the questions. Okay. He couldn't mess with the Monokuma file because it wasn't passed out.
I see! Is it about the Monokuma file?
But there was nothing. What would he have wanted to mess with? There was nothing there. Like, not showing how he died.
Yeah, that's it.
Was there anything else weird on it?
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
Is there? The victim, Nagito Kamaida. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death was believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's lacerations on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. All things that he did to himself. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file, not the theater, those are always weird. The file that Chiaki is worried about is... What is it? What is hidden in the Monokuma file? It's the murder. It's the actual weapon. Cause of death. I want them a little bit more in the center. I forgot how to play. Dear God. Are these what cause? Crap. Shit. What was it? What am I looking for? It's a Oh, shoot. A's, E's. Oh, shoot. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... I'm looking for an O, U, whatever the hell letter that is. S, oh shoot. I'm looking for an S. And then an E. There we go. I forgot what letter we were on. Shoot. Die. Okay. Death. Okay. Couldn't do anything. What was this do? Okay. I forgot how to play this game. I don't want to put the H down.
I got it!
I don't want to put the H down, because if I put the H down, it would leave.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
But if it's something he wanted to hide, unless he didn't want it to be hidden, then why do the rest of it? Why didn't he... If it is poison, which is the only weapon we have left, if somehow he got killed by poison through someone else, then why do the rest of it? Why do we... I'm gonna wait. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, the laceration on his left arm... There is a laceration on his left arm, and a knife impaled through his left hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
Did they?
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Those wounds on the thighs terrify me so much more than the spear in his stomach.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma, I plead the fifth!
Is it not I plead the fifth? Not the fifth? Have I been wrong this whole time? Okay, no, I think it's in a Law and Order parody. Okay, I think I'm right. I think it typically is fifth.
Here he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
And there was, so I don't remember, when was the first Pirates of the Caribbean released? So anyways, growing up from, I guess I was old enough to watch it. You know, it's like a younger PG-13 thing. And I would watch it, and I don't remember what grade I was in, but anyways, but it was like PG-13, and you're not allowed to show anything PG-13, but it was a whole thing, because like in schools they're not allowed to show anything above PG, so they're like, we can't show this, and we were going on a field trip, and blah blah. I think we ended up not watching it, but anyways, but I would watch it a lot. My neighbor absolutely loved it, and the first three, I think, pretty solid. I'm gonna be real, like, in my memory, it was pretty good, but anyways, I haven't watched them in years. But what happened is, there's one line which is, just reminds me so much, because my neighbor would be so into it, she would just quote it. But what happened is, she mentioned there was one quote where you can always trust a dishonest man to be dishonest, but you can't trust an honest man because you never know when he's going to be dishonest. So it's like, you can trust him because of his malice, because you can always trust that he's going to do this kind of thing, but you never know when an innocent person is going to suddenly have these emotions, or the malice.
What friendship?
We were BFFs.
What should we do, you guys?
There's a lot of
Should we
dot
proceed
dot
with
dots.
the vote?
No, Chucky. I'm suspicious. I think you know more than what you're letting on.
I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied,
Never mind.
even if it's just to be safe.
Never mind. I wasn't questioning you. I love you. Sorry.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right.
Chucky's gonna die. She is dying. She did something. She did something. She knows it. She's not telling us. Chucky's gonna die.
That's what I believe.
I don't know if it's now or if it's in a little bit, like if it's this kill, but we're kind of getting heads over heads that maybe it is.
Aww. Splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all our hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then, the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. We're all just standing in silence. Finally.
No,
my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was going to start, but, well, if you think about it rationally, there's no way it was going to happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Monomi? Hey, how much longer are you planning to sulk? Let's just get along like we always do. She's giving just him the silent treatment. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So Monomi and I are the bestest of best friends. That's not true, by the way. There was a guy who was transphobic, homophobic, racist, never drank water, shamed me for drinking water. He's like, oh, you don't need it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna drink water though. I'm cool. Anyways, but he helped me with homework because he was better at the foreign language than I am. And I would like, hey, you want something? He's like, I only drink orange juice from the supermarket. Nothing else there is for me. I'm like, okay, do you want orange juice? And you're like, oh, well, is he hydrated because of that? No. He drank one thing of orange juice for the whole day. He's like, I get up at 6 a.m. I only sleep for 4 hours. It's cool though. Also, I never got any vaccines. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're just gonna sit here and do our own work until we ask something of each other. We're just gonna ignore it. So yeah, we would always just sit there at the cafeteria table. He wasn't a good dude. He was also very, he had to be in a relationship where he wasn't worth anything. He also was very self-conscious of his siblings and thinking that he was the least attractive of them all, and he was had very bad body image issues, and he said if he wasn't as skinny as he was, he isn't worth anything. It was a whole thing. I felt bad for that guy, I'm not gonna lie. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough. Why do I have to be hated that much? Besides, the fact that you snapped at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy tiny 1 millimeter bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend so much, is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know? We aren't even friends in the first place. Then, as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother. It's sad to live in a life without friendship. It's even sadder when watching a high school rom-com full of guys. So, there may be some demands for that. There might be some demands for that. I fell for it. I totally took the man bait. I'm not going to say that she's wrong.
I'm Monomi. By now, there's nothing more for me to say. Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now.
I was going to make a gay joke, and then I was going to make a top surgery joke, and then I realized I won't. Because I don't know how to phrase it. Mainly, I've been talking about like, oh, my back hurts, and my siblings are like, for now, until April. Anyways. But anyways, yeah. That's it, man. That's all I got.
Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too.
You've been fighting from the beginning. You've been fighting the mono beasts. She's been fighting harder than all of us from the beginning.
I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation.
That guy? Are we talking about who's in charge of Monokuma, or are we talking about Monokuma?
basically it.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think.
Other possibilities. Huh.
If something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but...
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think?
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds...
Are we finished already?
I feel like it's possible that we overlooked something.
We have 2 out of like 5 bullets. Half the bullets being indicating poison. There's the gas masks, there's the rubber gloves, there's the physical poison that looks half empty. But only me and Chiaki said it. Is it gonna be one of those things that I need to save very frequently? Because it's like, am I gonna throw her under the bus? Because if it wasn't suicide, and it was planned, then it's one of us that, like, if she doesn't say that there's poison, should I then also be like, weird, there's no other thing? Obviously, I don't know if that's, like, we have to use the bullet somewhere, but, like, are we keeping quiet about it on purpose? Overlooked, huh?
Then let's bring up whatever we can think of, one after the other. That might clear some things up.
But, like, we saw poison. We saw it. We physically, with our eyes, saw the poison.
Exactly! We should cooperate at a time like this.
A fatal wound. That wasn't the spear. We didn't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, we need to find out what it is, no matter what. Okay. Make your argument. The poison. Okay.
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds, maybe he simply bled to death.
Again, honest.
There's no way he burned to death.
No, that's
Was
not.
the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
Okay, that's it.
If it's something that can't be seen, maybe he choked himself with a sleeper hold. Or
Himself?
liquefied his guts with a body blow.
Not a body blow, no.
Just thinking about it, that's already a horrible death.
Worse than stabbing himself. The real cause of Nagito's death. Is there something I overlooked? Yeah.
Let us consider a different...
It's not the knife in his... It's not the other wound. With all those wounds, maybe he simply bled...
There's no way he
No.
burned to death.
Sorry.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
Oh, it hit the thing.
If it's something that can't, maybe he choked himself or liquefied his guts.
Just thinking about it, that's already a horrible death.
Yeah.
Let us consider a different...
It's not the knife in his... It's
I
not
was
the other
hoping I
wound.
could
With
shoot
all
it
those
before.
wounds, maybe he simply...
There's no way he burned to death.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
Okay.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
Poison? It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
I remember, when I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, There's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
But she's so smart. How did she not connect them? Is the only reason why I'm like, bro, you have to.
If poison was the cause of death, it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body.
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned.
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
What does that mean?
But even if blood blotches appear, if the body was already covered in blood, there's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
Okay, that would make sense. But where did he know that from? Where did he get the information that he's like, oh, I have to wound myself for this? There's no warning label that had it, and he didn't test it out. So how would he have known he needed to do that? If that's the reason for it, it'd be weird.
That's also a possibility.
That'd be really weird.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were full. So how would he drink poison?
He didn't?
His left hand was tied up and gripping the spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it.
If it's slow acting.
If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance.
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly states the effect is instant.
Never mind.
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full just before he died.
But with the gas mask, I can only assume it's breathable, is my thing. And I think it says something about evaporating at a low temperature, question mark. I don't remember. It wasn't powder, it was liquid. That too.
And this is when the hardtail appears.
Both his hands were full, yeah, okay, yeah.
You're totally overvaluing that tail.
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know. If he wanted to drink poison, how'd he get it past his lips?
If there's no way he could have drank the poison, it might be impossible. Just kidding. It's not like we're out of possibilities yet.
Are there any left?
Hell no! No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear.
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to think about what really killed him. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label. Maybe.
The way the poison entered Nagito's body, the answer is written on the warning label. I should think carefully and try to remember it. I assume I should read it, but... Okay, there's only 2 questions, is that what that means? I think. We'll see if it's important. You know, I don't mind this game, this mini game, but it is just kind of sitting here for a little bit for other people. But again, it's about playing. What state was the poison in when it affected Nagito? I think it said something about it being evaporatable. And then there was the fire. So I can, oh god, I can only assume. Only can assume. I almost fell off. Oh, I fell off. Do I have to start over at the beginning? Or... oh, how tedious. This time I won't go too far. Am I supposed to know? Oh, shoot. I was like, should I jump on that? But I don't remember if I can. keep trying to jump, but you know what? Screw it. Oh, my life force. Fuck. Well, okay, we're gonna go slow. I'm like, I just want to have fun with it, but then it's like, you're going to die. It's because I keep slipping right off the board. It's okay, I got 3 minutes. I only got 2 questions. How did the poison enter Nagito's body? Through his nose. It's the only one that makes sense if it's in gas form. And that was correct. Oh boy. The other one ended right away. So I think it should have been the other way around. It should have asked what form was it in after how did it get into his body.
It's all coming together.
Because the other way doesn't make any sense.
What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
Inhaled?
It's written on the poison's warning label.
This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please please handle with care. Though its velocity is low, this liquid is very dangerous when evaporated.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose!
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
The reason we didn't breathe in the poisonous gas, we should be able to explain that mystery too. The fire, made us wait. The smoke was also why we waited. But did it not say something about diluted with something about water? Hydrolysis. Is that not water? Like, would that not be water? Am I wrong?
I see!
No, I'm not. Ah!
The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
But, like, multiple reasons. Like, it showed that it was lower. It said it was denser than air, so it would have been lower down. We waited with the fire. Like, we waited with the smoke to air out. The sprinklers not only helped it, but also made us wait. So it's like, could have been multiple reasons.
The poison gas disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
Well, this was also written on the poison's warning label.
In a gaseous state, sure, whatever. It is heavier than air. It breaks down in minutes. And see, if we waited, it breaks down. And it is susceptible to hydrolysis. So, it is possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. What if we were just in a...
Of course! Hydrolysis!
Hydrolysis. Also, what if we were just in a really humid area?
The chemical bonds that formed the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers!
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it, huh?
If it meets the requirements that well, Maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning. The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right?
Fair.
Then
Fair.
enough already!
Fair. But there's more to it.
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right. All the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
Well, but
What? There's still more?
My chair is squeaking. Okay. I mean, not all the mysteries have been solved yet. In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Was that really his motive? Is that really okay?
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
Nagito's motive. Nagito's malice. Is this really okay? Can we really finish it? Or finish this here? No, it can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
Huh?
Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
If Nagito really brought poison to the warehouse, then the thing that should have been left behind is the container. The meat on the bone. The container. That was so long ago. That was months ago. The container.
I see!
Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
I wonder what would happen if you play 1 day per day of this. It would be very funny to play exactly day by day. It's like, oh, that was it. Okay, bye. Are you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
It was part of the bottles on the floor.
You can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
I mean, it was a liquid, yeah.
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
I mean, again, it was liquid. Poison. But it was probably the bottles. Like on the floor. Like the last case. Not the last case, I guess. Chapter 4 in the previous game. Where there was 2 bottles in one. If there was multiple bottles, 1 extra. Or different things, we wouldn't have noticed. It was similar. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container away from sunlight.
The container probably melted in the fire.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate. Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice.
That is impossible! I mean, an accomplice? It is just 2?
Like, does that really matter all that much? I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
Ah, you're right. You're totally right. That's totally it.
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
Okay. So the reason why is even if on purpose somebody did be the accomplice and purposely poison Nagito, he was the one that planned it. So in my opinion, that means he did it. But here's the thing. In chapter 2, this, I guess, the same thing, but a very similar thing, where if Fujiko planned for Mahiru to die, she was brought to, it's like, okay, we're going to bring her to the beach house, you're going to do this, we have it set up. Even if you planned all that, Peko was the one that died, so I'm guessing, but then who would agree? Who would agree to all of this? Unless, I guess, they're planning for them to get out. And they're like, yeah, I'll do it with this plan. And he did always say that he wanted to assist someone to try to get away with murder. To have these two things. So it would make sense if someone's like, hey, I want to get out of here. We need a really good plan so I can leave. But then, again, I can't, because I was thinking of the two killers in the third chapter of the first game, where Celeste is the one in charge, but they said even if he was alive, if he didn't kill anyone himself, he would have been okay to go away. Like, he would have been not blackened, because Celeste was the one that physically planned it. But in this case, they're like, no, or in this game, they're like, no, even though they planned it, it's whoever did the kill. So I think they switched it. Up. So, I wonder if that's what we're heading towards, because they do that where they will bring something up and it's not pertinent to this case but the next case. So I wonder if they did all that to put forward that Peko died instead of Fujiko, even though he planned it all, because she did the killing blow, you know? I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired of doubting everyone else. I feel that way. I also feel that way. Well, you're the one that said it. That's why I want to just rule this as Nagito's suicide. Fun fact, periods or punctuation always goes within the quotations, which I always find really wrong, and I'm glad we are changing it. Like, more and more people are getting it wrong, so it's becoming normalized, and I love that for us, and I think we should continue to be incorrect with certain English things so it can become normalized, because everything, all of English, all of languages, there's no correct, especially with English. I know certain places, different things, but somebody's like, can you believe this English thing? And I'm like, guess what? It doesn't matter. Anyways, like, they're like ending on a preposition. I'm like, who cares? Starting a sentence with the word but, or because, or, I'm like, so what? Commas don't go here, so what? Anyways, if I do that, nobody here has to get hurt. But
That's no good.
that's no good.
Huh?
I mean, wouldn't everyone get hurt then? Wouldn't we all probably die a horrific death? The punishment of if we did kill someone. Monokuma wouldn't just have us die like drop dead. He wouldn't just have a gas enter the room. He would have it horrific. I think, like, we would all die horrifically, besides the one. I'm just saying.
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh? The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga!
I still love this one art I saw of ghosts being canon in Danganronpa, and I don't know if ghosts ever become canon. I don't. In the first game, it was very anti-ghosts, but I don't know if like the third one or the books or the TV show or whatever it is, the extra game. There's apparently a beach episode, Despair Girls, all of that. However, it was really funny. So now every time someone's like, "Ooh, a ghost," just imagine them being there, or all the ghosts talking to each other. It's a really fun little thing, and I just saw one little artwork of it. So now I can actually imagine just like, wow, so that's your hope. And just imagine if he is like an actual, just like here, like not hearing it, but now I just imagine it being like real.
Still, that's pretty messed up.
Shut up! You just be quiet.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right? Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
Every time I hear "solve this mystery," I just exclusively think of Scooby-Doo. That's it.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is? Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing. And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
That's what I mentioned, which now I assume is wrong. Oh wait, never mind. I might be right. What is this feeling just now? It would be great if every time Akane just spits out something like her saying, "Oh, it could be hidden," is her gut telling her what is the truth. That would be really fun, but then they also just gave her randomly Ibuki's things, like hearing, which I'm still not over. What is this feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. It was the ghost of whatever his face is, Nagito, hitting him in the back of the head. But also, I like that also Gundam's. I didn't notice that Gundam's X is special as well. Maybe what Akane said just now might be a new clue. From there, I might be able to reach the answer. The way Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as a container was... Is it going to be a fire grenade? Is that going to be... Do I know how to spell a grenade? I don't think I need F, so... N-R... G-I-I-G-R. Okay. Oh, I have an E, or whatever. Oh, I wanted that. What's this, a D? Oh, I don't need that yet. Oops, nope. What letter? Shoot, oh I did it. Ah! Is it an A? No. How do you spell grenade? What letter did I click? A. Oh shoot, I didn't see the... Okay, I need this. I think that is... Well, that's gonna frickin' grenade. Oh, it's an A. What am I doing? Shoot, I put those too close together. I wanted them to be separate. I just... Nope. Shoot, I threw it. Fuck. Fuck. It's no use. I can't go on any longer. I don't have any other options. Everyone doubts me. It appears the trial has come to an end. Now then, the time to vote. Well, I can totally imagine who the blackened will be. Foo ho ho ho. By majority vote, the one who... Like, we're not even in a place in the trial that is like, oh, it's you. It would be like, okay, you're wrong. And then we vote wrong. By the majority vote, the one who has been chosen as the blackened is Hajime I didn't remember our last name. Hinata. But Hajime is not the blackened. Too bad. The true blackened has... Oh, does this mean there's actually... Like, I assume there is. But does that actually mean there is a real blackened? The true blackened has graduated splendidly. Congratulations. And now, the others will be punished. And that means you too, Hajime.
This is our end?
Would you like to retry? Nah. Okay.
We will never give up!
I couldn't click. Maybe what Akane just said might be a new clue. Okay. I shouldn't just let things hit each other. Fine. Okay. Also, paying attention to what letters I'm clicking. I don't think it's smart for me to have them. I know I need that next, but I was scared it was gonna... I don't think I need I ever again. Well, I need E. I need the R right now. I need this. Get rid of that. Hit that. Shoot, that's gonna hit. It's not this yet. The G's gonna hit it. Where is an R? Oops. Fuck, I clicked it wrong. I wanted to get rid of it. Shoot. Where am I going? I wanted, sorry, what letter? Ends. All ends. I did it. I'm gonna fail that so badly. this is gonna be probably my worst trial to date. Anyways.
Huh?
The fire grenades! Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
Ah. Here's the thing. Did we not say there was more fire... Like Sonia say there was more fire extinguisher products in that supply room? And now there were only fire grenades? Or... I thought that she meant... I was wondering if they meant less fire grenades. But what if there was like a fire extinguisher, but it's gone?
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse.
And that would explain the blue top, question mark? If there is a seal. I don't know if there is.
It can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later.
That bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room.
Hold on. Did you say aluminum?
Did she not say that it was switched around?
Hajime. Could it be?
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right
Well,
now.
Miss Sonia didn't go into his cottage and then peek under his bed because I was trying to sleep on his bed.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Give it, since I just watched, or I just played like the sound and I clicked on a few things to test out levels and stuff for this. But yeah, it was the very first chapter, and the main character of that was like, it's a pretty normal looking bed. I hope I didn't hurt its feelings by saying that. And it was so funny to me, because he was just such a sweet guy.
Huh?
Sonia's words contained a clue that the contents of a fire grenade were swapped out for the poison. Aluminum.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of trash.
Like you. No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
No, that is not just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Where did the fire grenade powder go? You know? Also, was it heated up enough to even... I guess if it was liquid. If it was liquid, wouldn't you hear it? You know, like... It's too full. You would hear... Swamp, 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 swamp. Like, if it was liquid and you were running with it. Maybe if you didn't know everyone else's wasn't liquid. But unless he just like filled it instead of exchanging it. But then it might be weird.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping it.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in, and died, right?
Imagine if you were Nagito and you're just so used to having luck that one day you're just driving and like everyone's like, oh man, I hope I don't run out of gas, and he's like, I'm good. Or he's like, oh, I hope I don't like get in a car crash, and he never does. But then just one day, just imagine he cuts his finger, get a paper cut, and something got lost in the mail, and he's just like, the fuck? Because just imagine that. Just imagine you're so used to things going your way. Like every little bit of your life is perfectly suited for you. Like it's perfect. Like you know. Oh, I hope this is in stock. It will be. Oh, I hope I can do this. It will be. It's fine. It'll work out. Imagine if just one day it really just didn't work. It's like with Domino from Marvel? Yeah. From the comic books. Just imagine just one day she's just like, unlike, that's definitely a plot. But just imagine one day just like, nope.
So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide. Enough already!
Yeah, I don't think it's Sonya anymore. She pushed it a little too far to be like, yeah, let's find out who the traitor is. It would be weird if she pushed it so far to find out who the traitor is, if she was the traitor. So I'm taking that back. My suspicions are on Chiaki.
You're right.
But she is helping a lot, but maybe if she accidentally was forced into it, not an accomplice, but like, she's like, oh, like she figured it out too late.
If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
But he wasn't the one that dealt the fatal blow. So, ugh.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought, and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison were the same. Could that same moment be
I see.
when we threw all the grenades?
Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
One of us.
What the heck?
One of us threw the poisoned grenade that killed Nagito?
Hold on a sec. The Nagito was...
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
What the heck? You said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Huh? The person who prepared the poison fire grenade was
I see.
Nagito.
It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poison grenade?
The person who set the warehouse fire was...
I see.
That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now,
See, I want to say it's her, but then also not.
why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
So we throw the grenades with the poison. The reason Nagito set the warehouse on fire to make someone throw the
I
poison.
see.
Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
He set the fire just so we'd put it out? Why'd he do that?
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. Creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poison grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it.
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
It was luck.
Huh?
It was fate who threw it.
Could it be? Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do.
Or it's just so we don't know.
And for that reason,
So no one knows.
he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
What? What the hell?
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in the dense poison. And then...
Is that not over his nose? Like, that looks over his nose. Like the tape, which obviously isn't true, but like...
Hold on. If that's true, you can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault he let go of the spear, but the actual cause of death could be either one.
Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear.
He was planning to let go of the spear this whole time.
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison!
Are you fucking serious?
You know, like, this is not a bad thing, but I love that it's like, no, it doesn't matter if he planned it all, because Monokuma would want there to be a trial, want there to be a killer. So this isn't like wrong. It's great because now Monokuma has said that they plan to have someone executed for this, and it is added up with Peko, but just the fact that, like, of course he would want it to be considered a murder. It'd be more exciting.
That was his trap all along. Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence for what actually happened. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved. As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces. For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that is when you finally taste despair. Meaning, he used all of the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick. Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you, as expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up. That's so fucked up.
So is the game actually saying that we can't figure out who did it? Like, of course, Monokuma with the cameras would know who did it. He saw which one he replaced. But would that mean we can't figure out who did it?
It is my fault, because I told you all about the fire grenades.
It kind of's true. No, I'm kidding. It's not.
I am so sorry. Please vote me as the killer.
That's not the fucking issue here.
It's not Miss Sonia's fault. This is all Nagito's doing.
But what should we do? How can we even figure out who the killer is?
It's impossible.
Impossible?
Oh, was that the whole line? Yeah.
Nagito wanted to create a scenario where we couldn't make a decision. That's why we're at an impasse.
Scenario.
However, Monokuma also does not know who the killer is, right?
That's right. There's no way he'd be able to figure that out with just his surveillance cameras.
Yeah, who grabbed the thing?
If Monokuma doesn't know, his trial doesn't count. Isn't that right?
You know, I don't actually need stuff like cheap-ass surveillance cameras or whatever. I know perfectly well what's happening on this island at all times.
But how?
I know you used the bathroom 3 times yesterday, Sonia. And one of those visits seemed to take a while.
Please stop! I will never become queen!
Well, if that's what shatters a queen, not really a loyal country. Also a human country.
How can you? I'm so chill. I mean, how can you have such an awful power?
Jealousy over... Jealousy over using the restroom. Like, maybe that wasn't the best lead-in. Maybe it was, like, supposed to be about other things he knows, but, like, it's weird that that was riffing off of that.
So, of course this trial still counts. Do your very best to guess who the killer is.
Yes, he says. How the hell are we supposed to do that?
Well, I assume it isn't me, because I already died.
Is giving up all we can do?
No, it's too early to give up.
Is there any way to figure out who the killer is?
Jockey, are you holding back?
Even though it's just a hunch,
Oh, never
it's
mind.
possible that it's probably... There's one way, I think.
Never mind. She's fine.
Really?
She has a lot of dots.
Hey, is it alright if we look at Nagito's crime one more time from the beginning?
Does she not always have dots? Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm reading into something that's not there.
I want to make sure my hunch is correct.
I'm hungry.
Hajime, please.
Yeah, we do this every time. That's right. It doesn't mean the trial is over yet. Even though I don't know who killed Nagito, it should be clear what kind of trap he set. Then I have to do it, even if it leads to despair.
I got it. Let's do this then.
Okay. I'm assuming... Oh wait, what was in the refrigerator? Poison. I love the purple aura of evil. I also love this little animation style. It's really cute. Right before switching the poison, he removed the lid. What's placed inside the break room? Oh, that's not it. You want everyone. What's beyond the Monokuma panel? Wait, what does it say? Sorry. I'll just put the oil lighter over here. Or just keep going. Dingle. His whole body wasn't tied up yet. Or why did he do this yet first? He should have. Oh, because he did have to tie it, but. Where's the spear? He has to be sitting or have it anchored in some way. Anyways. His whole body wasn't tied up. Oh wait, it doesn't have to. Oh, yeah, it doesn't have to be here yet. I'm like, no, never mind. What did it say though? It didn't say. Whatever. It didn't fit. How did he support the spear? He held it, I guess, in order to hurt himself. Nope. Ooh. I was like, why was there blood yet? Of course. I was like, why is there blood on the top? Duh. Okay. Whomp. And then he threw it. He waited. The reason we went to the warehouse was... Well, we don't have that yet. Opened. Bum, 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 bum. Hit it. Fire. Oh, so the curtain wasn't the thing that caught on fire, it was the Monokuma? Or did it was supposed to be that way? Whatever. Grenades. Poison grenade shattered. He breathed in. See, this his nose is out. The other one, his nose was not out in the art. He let go, which made this thing fall, the spear fall. Okay. I just realized it. We are all blacked out because we don't know who did it. We're all the blacked out, and he's the only one we know because he wasn't the. Oh my god, that's so great. I'm gonna be real. That's pretty great. Okay. What was inside the break room? We don't have that yet. The whole body isn't tied up. The spear, no. In order to hurt himself. Well, that's the same image, so I'm assuming no. We went to the warehouse because of the video message. Okay. None of those. This is cute. His little eager. I don't know, like this is so innocent looking versus sinister. Innocent. Anyways, in order to hurt himself. No. What made they? Oops, let go. Last stock. Fire grenades. He just grabbed one. In order to hurt himself? No, that was there. Duct tape? I guess.
Here's everything that happened in this case. The person who actually arranged this incident was the victim, Nagito Komaeda.
He seems so unbothered. He's like, yeah, I guess I'm doing this.
He kept a specific item inside his cottage that he needed for his plan. Monokuma's special poison, which he brought with him from the Octagon. Using the gloves and gas mask that he got from the military base, Nagito swapped the contents of a fire grenade he took from the plushie factory break room with that poison. When he did that, a specific item was left as evidence, the blue aluminum seal on the grenade.
It's kind of... But... It's kind of both unlucky, but also kind of oversight on his part. What, he didn't clean it up? He could have cleaned it up. Like, the fact that he lost that was a pretty big oversight.
With that, Nagito finished making the poisoned fire grenade, took it with him to the factory, and put it back with the rest of the grenades in the break room. The next morning, Nagito appeared before us and declared that he hid a bomb somewhere. While we were looking for the bomb, that's when Nagito headed over to the goods warehouse. In order to set up a fire, Nagito arranged the Monokuma panels in a line going from the door to the curtain and placed an oil lighter in front of it. From there, Nagito set his insane plan in motion. First, he hung the spear that he took from Nezumi Castle from the ceiling girder by its cord. Then he tied his arms and legs at the back of the warehouse with rope. However, he burnt off the rope on his right arm beforehand. In doing so, he made sure that only his right hand was free, while his remaining arm and legs were tied up. As he gripped the tip of the rope hanging over the ceiling girder with his left hand, he lay down face up, just beneath the dangling spear. But this was just the beginning of Nagito's plan. And then, he did something no one could have predicted.
I would have taped up my mouth before tying up both of my hands. Just saying.
First, he covered his mouth with duct tape, and after making sure he was unable to scream,
Because that's, like, he went round and round. That's a lot. I would have just been like, oh boy, that's not gonna work.
he stabbed himself with the knife multiple times in his left arm and in both of his thighs. Finally, he propped the knife on the plushie and slammed his right hand onto the blade. He didn't just want us to think he was tied up, he also wanted us to think he'd been tortured. Through all this, Nagito never let go of the spear. His plan still wasn't over. In fact, it was just about to begin. Meanwhile, we finally arrived at the plushie factory and found Nagito's message. After seeing his message, we instantly made our way to the warehouse. But that was part of Nagito's plan.
I wonder who everyone is in the boom, like the Act 3 boom with the blue. Like, who's looking, who's hiding, who? Interesting. Who's holding their head? I don't think we had that much emotion when in our previous look at this. So I wonder who is who.
We opened the door to the warehouse, which inadvertently started the Monokuma panel domino effect. The panels fell one after another until they reached the lighter, tipped it over, and ignited the curtain. Shocked by the sudden fire, we rushed to the factory's break room to obtain some fire-extinguishing grenades. We then aimed for the fire's origin point, which was the curtain, and unloaded the entire supply. It never occurred to us that one of those grenades was the poison grenade that Nagito had prepared. The poison sank to the floor, instantly vaporizing due to the intense heat, and spread everywhere. The poison gas quickly drifted to the curtain at the back of the warehouse, where Nagito was. Also, Monokuma's poison has a unique quality in which it becomes heavier than air when vaporized.
I wonder if that is a thing. I know, like, things are heavier than air. I wonder if there's a poison that's kind of like this in any way.
That poison gas completely surrounded the area where Nagito lay
Or if
face up
it's
on the floor.
completely fictitious. Fictitious.
There, Nagito inhaled the poison, and if it didn't instantly kill him, he certainly lost consciousness. Which caused him to let go of the rope in his left hand, and the falling spear plunged into his stomach. This is all the information related to Nagito's plan. His true intention was to set one of us up as the killer. At this time, we still don't know who the killer is, because the killer wasn't aware they killed someone.
Okay, the person with their hands on their head is Soda. But who was comforting who in their hands? The person that kicked the door was obviously Akane, but...
Try as we might, we cannot reach that truth. That was Nagito's trap.
That's all of
In
us.
conclusion, the fact that we can't determine the killer's identity. This should be the truth behind Nagito's trap.
How about it, Chiaki? Will that help you figure out who the killer is?
Chiaki?
I'm gonna stop it here. I think we're right before the execution, but it is going to definitely be a long explanation, and I am not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm sorry. So we're doing the explanation, who the traitor is, maybe who the killer is, like I said, the execution, the afterwards, the effects on us, all that next time. I don't know if we even have that many truth bullets left, if any, so I really do think this is like it, but I am leaving, I'm going, I'm leaving, I'm ditching, I'm leaving. Goodbye.